again, we welcome you to Media Plus Tête-à-tête. Here we are this evening with SAMBORLANG DIENGDOH, who is a contender for the 2023 Assembly elections from Penthorong Kra constituency. Well, let's get to know a little about SAMBORLANG. Well, Sambor, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. So, can you tell us something about yourself and the dreams you had as a young man?
Good evening, Con. Thank you to Media Plus for this opportunity. It really is a platform for younger generations like us to voice our concern for the general public, for the betterment of the public of the state. So before I go to my real election issues, I would like to introduce myself. My name is SAMBORLANG DIENGDOH, and most people know me by the name of Sam Hamti. Actually, Sam Hamti is a firm name. It has a meaning also. Sam is my name and Hamti is my wife's name. So it's a combination of both my name and my wife's name. So as I did my schooling from St. Edmund's School, so after completion my ICSE in the year 2000, I did my level 12 science again from St. Edmund's College. After completion of my class 12 science, I got a chance to pursue with my BSc, but because of some family pressure, because we came from a business family background, so I shifted from science commerce to BCom, and I completed my Bachelor of Commerce, and my honors papers were cost accounting and income tax. So from a science student, I've transformed myself to a commerce student. Then after my BCom, we started business straight away. So we started business right from 2006. And 2006, lots of things has happened in my life because I married my wife in the same year only. So we were very young that time. I was only 24 and my wife was only 21. So we started with a family and business as well. So right from a very young age, we have to be matured because we have to at the same time we have to look for family. At the same time, we have to find our means of living. We have to earn. So this is how we started our life. So this is how we ventured into business. So right from 2006 till date, I'm still a businessman. So this is my life.
Yes, Sam, you are an established businessman, and I believe most of your businesses are in your wife's name, right?
Yes, it's very true.
So you have two big concerns like the Krejing Indina service station and the Samhamti wine store, which are two big businesses which have really catered to the area here in Penthorong Kra, right? So I would like to know what has made you venture into the political scene, which is quite different from business, right?
Everything, all of us, we've experienced these 2 years of lockdown. So the lockdown, what it did was, it really is a great hardship for all of us, especially the people from the middle class right to the BPL. But what the lockdown at the same time did was, it inured the hidden talent of most of the people. Like for instance, you've seen most of the people who were shy to do business, but with the lockdown, they have no other options but to start their own business. And even after the lockdown, also they still continue with the business that they started during the lockdown. So in our case, it was different. We are businessmen, but during the lockdown, what it did was it unearthed our hidden talents of serving the people. I think every one of us remembered after the first lockdown, when the government has relaxed the lockdown, when they have lifted the lockdown, I burst into the scene with that issue which relates with the Meghalaya Joint Action Committee on Commercial Vehicles. I remember that time the Meghalaya Joint Action Committee on Commercial Vehicles, they agitated because of the fact that the fare that they were collecting that time cannot make the ends meet for serving the family. So if you do remember, the main demand was to raise, they demanded to raise the fare. But that time, because we earn our livelihood from the taxi drivers. In fact, all of our customers in our Krejing Indina service station are mostly taxi drivers. And when we were allotted with the LOI, with the letter of intent, with the license also, all the petrol pump owners were given a target to achieve, that we have to sell this much KL per day. And to be very honest with you, we easily achieve the targets through the taxi drivers. Because if a private car owner comes to fill fuel, he'll fill fuel today in full tank, then he'll come again after a week.
A week, yes.
So the main people who has really helped us in achieving the targets are the taxi drivers.
It's on a regular
Yes,
basis.
because they fill fuel on a daily basis, and some taxi drivers even come and fill fuel twice a day. So when they started this agitation, so we conversed with them. Then I told them that rather than demanding to hike the fare, because all of us has just experienced a lockdown. Whatever savings that we had already spent during the lockdown. So it's not wise for you, for the association to demand for a rise in the fare. Instead, I'll help you with one thing, but I won't tell you now. When I do that, I'll just give you a call. Then one day I just shut down, means I closed the pump as a support to the Meghalaya Joint Action Committee on Commercial Vehicles. Then we changed the demand. I told them, rather than demanding for hiking the fare, it's better we demand the government to roll back the tax so that the price of the fuel will roll back.
It will be from the route.
Yes, from the route to that time we went in the rally with the taxi drivers. In that press statement, I've also narrated the tax structure, that at the time when the price of crude oil in the international market was dipping, yet the central government, they hiked the central excise duty, and our state here, they hiked the value-added tax. So when they raised the central excise duty of petroleum products, what resulted was there was a sudden increase in the price of kerosene oil, in the price of LPG, in the price of petrol, and in the price of diesel. And especially when it comes to petrol and diesel again, these are again falling under the value-added tax. It's still a state subject. And our government at that time, they raised the tax from 18% to 31%. So these were, on these lines, I narrated my press statement. And I do remember that after 2 days after I narrated that, after I gave that press statement, the Honorable Chief Minister, he rolled back the tax, and in fact he took my calculation with me.
So what was their response, the taxi drivers' response?
After that, when we rolled back the tax, when the government rolled back the tax from 31% to 20% for petrol, and from 22.5% to 12% for diesel, it resulted in the rolling back of the price of both petrol and diesel by nearly 10 rupees, which the taxi drivers highly appreciated, and they started again with the faring of passengers.
Daily job,
yes,
right?
daily job.
Okay.
So that's how I found out that maybe I have the ability to solve problems
of people.
Yes, of the people. And on the second occasion, on the second occasion was the second lockdown, and I do remember that on the second lockdown, all the media persons were busy with the COVID-19 cases, how much positive was detected, how many patients were recovering, and how many deaths has resulted from the COVID-19. And on that particular time also, we remember that my friends from the media, from your media fraternity, they invited me to go and inspect to all the agricultural fields. So we went together with the media persons.
Yes, Sam, I wanted to interrupt you on that.
Yes.
You have been known to be very close to the farmers.
Yes.
So can you tell us about your association with these
farmers.
people? Yeah.
With the farmers, there's also a history behind this. Right from 2008, 2009, 2010, I'm very involved with the farmers. The reason being, two of my sisters are in the agriculture department. One of my sister, she's a joint director of agriculture, and the other sister, she's agriculture extension officer. And for all the success stories of the farmers, we used to go to the ground. And I remember my elder sister, she's a very practical officer, so to speak. She never sit in the chair, but she'll go to the site with the farmers. She used to do all her work there only with the farmers.
Mostly field work.
Field work, because she has to distribute schemes. And for distributing schemes, it's always a point for her that the right people should get the scheme.
Right.
So which is why she used to go to the agricultural fields. And on that note, she used to take me along, and that's how I gel very well with the farmers. Then, because both of my sisters, they did the BSc Agri also. I had the same dream to pursue my BSc Agri, but like I told you, because of family pressure, I shifted from science to commerce.
BCom.
So right from that time, I already knew when is the sowing season, when is the harvesting season. So last time, the second time when we went for farmers issue, we went on the harvesting time, when all the cabbage were being ready to sold to the market. So I'm very thankful to my friends from the media also, because if it wasn't for them, we would have not gone to those agricultural fields in Tendroid. We went all the way to Tendroid, and remember we parked a vehicle on the roadside and we had to climb 5 hills to reach that area where they cultivated this cabbage. So what we found was all the cabbage were ready to, means all the cabbage are ready for them to be harvested and to be sold in the market. But the biggest problem was the lockdown, because like we faced like the Anjali market was closed, the Yodelang was closed. Then farmers, they expressed their concerns to us, and as we know, farmers, they always rely on loan. They purchase their seedlings also through loan, and they buy the fertilizers also with the help of loan. And even the agricultural fields that they are cultivating, it's not theirs. Most of the fields they hire. Yes, they hire on lease. So for them, they have to liquidate the loan of the seedlings, the manures, the fertilizers, and they have to pay the landlords.
Everything pre-production, right?
So if they cannot sell these vegetable products of theirs, how will they mitigate all these loans? And on top of that, they also have to pay the children's school fees.
Right.
So based on this ground, we have the Sam County parking lot, which was very newly built that time. So it was lying like this. It was lying like that without any utilization. We offered the government that, see, we have this, it's a prime location. We want to help the farmers, and the biggest plus with the Sam County is that it has its entry point and exit point.
Right.
So if you do remember in that lockdown time, everything was left to the entry and exit, so that we can streamline the entry and exit of the customers, the farmers. So I remember that I spoke in this one with the Honorable Deputy Commissioner, and I've also called upon the Agriculture Minister, and I'm very thankful to Padang also, Tête-à-tête, because he was very helpful. I remember I called him around 10 o'clock in the night, and I found that he's a minister, which is a very humble person. Without knowing my number, he received my call. Then I narrated to him about the incident of the farmers, and coincidentally that Tendroid area where we went to inspect, it falls under his constituency. Yes, it falls under Mokondro constituency, which makes it even easier for him to coordinate with this one. So I remember he told me where is your location, and explained about this location of Sam County. Then the next morning he came here, he brought his agriculture officers along with him. So they inspected. Yeah, they did the inspection. That very same day they sat for that meeting, and that very same evening they passed the order. And that evening itself, the Honorable Agriculture Minister gave me a call. He said that your Sam County Farmers Market, the order has been, it has been released, so you can start with your that Sam County Farmers Market, and you can call all the farmers to come. So
for that matter, Assam, I think the market was not just catering to people of this area, but it was me and the others who have also come to buy our vegetables from here. You've seen us, we would come here and buy, because it was convenient for us, as you said. The entry and exit points were there, the parking lot was there, so it made us, it made it so convenient for us to come and, market our goods from here, vegetables and fruits and whatever from here, the products from here.
And what we experienced from the lockdown was, during the time of hardships, especially in that pandemic, we were not materialistic. We did not went to buy clothes, we did not went to buy shoes, but we were after food.
Right.
And all these vegetables, all the food are lying in the nook and corner of Shillong city. So the farmers, yes, they have the vegetables, they have the food, but they also need the money, for paying for meeting the ends meet, for paying the need consumers, because they also have to pay the school fees for the children, and some of them even have to pay the rent, like I said, for the landlords. So what we did during that time was, we bridged the gap between the producers and the consumers. Consumers are people like you and us, people like us. because we stay in Shillong, we have only the money, but we need food also that time.
Exactly.
So that Sound Humpty Farmers Market, what it did was it bridged the gap between the producers and the consumers. So it really helped not only the farmers, but it really helped all of us.
All in the society, right? Basam, I have come to know that your motto is youth is power,
Yes.
right? So I'd like to know, are you contesting the 2023 elections to actually cater to the needs of the youth, or is there any other hidden agenda?
Youth, as a person, I'm still a youthful person. I think my age also still allows me to be with the youth. I'm only 38. I think it's a prime age for us to be in the political arena. And as far as sports is concerned, football, cricket, these are all my hobbies. Actually, my aim is not only youth, it's not only the sports, but since my age allows me to be with the youth, so I really want to promote the youth, because like we've seen, especially in this Pantorong constituency, for a very long time we don't have a proper football field, we don't have a playground, we don't have a common ground. So luckily for us, there's this MES ground that is here nearby, which is still lying in a court case between the MES and SAMBORLANG DIENGDOH, and she's a very nice lady. We've approached both of them, but since it's a disputed land, it's very difficult for both of them to take the decision to give us, to allow us to utilize the field. So for this, we filed a petition. I remember I addressed this petition to all the people in Nomansong, and somehow we got the backing of 11 schools from Nomansong.
You're a member of the Bashno here, right?
Yes, I'm also the secretary of this locality, secretary of Oriental locality. And for this petition, we got the blessings of 11 schools from Nomansong. Then we got the blessings of 4 religious institutions from Nomansong, namely the Catholic, Presbyterian, Pentecostal and Saint Nomansong. Then we also got the blessing of the Den of Bashno of Nomansong, Bakhongla, and I myself as a secretary from Orkarel, I also signed that petition. Then as per that petition, when we filed to the Honorable District Administration, we stated that our plea was, we do not want to interfere with the ownership of the plot of land, but we just want to transform that land from what has been a den of all social evils into a sporting atmosphere. And we are very thankful to the Honorable Deputy Commissioner. She is very helpful with us for this one, and in fact she's the main person who mediated with both these
parties.
Yes, with both these parties, with both these these custodians. So she's managed to convince them. Then Honorable Deputy Commissioner called us, the 3 of us. Then we came to a mutual understanding. Then from that, the rest is history.
I can see these trophies here.
Yes.
I think this was the latest football tournament that happened.
It's the ongoing Sound Humpty Independence Cup that's going on right now. Prior to this, we've already hosted 4 football tournaments. So these 4 football tournaments, these were all open to all football tournaments. People from outside Pantorong constituency, they came to participate in this tournament.
Well, viewers, on that note, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with more about SAMBORLANG DIENGDOH. Till then, stay tuned.
bun ha ki tourist ki bawan chini shpo Meghalaya jingi pe ki kwa man one pet ki kwa ban experience kum ka ta ka Meghalaya kalong da ki lawan kum tu ki la sa bun sni te kawai kalong ba ka jinyo anong ba da ni dan ki kini ki homestay.
Opening and homestay, it's my source of income.
You can draw or paint, you can sing and dance, you can take a picture in Reading Academies. You can shake a rabbit, Reading Academy. Opportunities are coming in your way, you just need to get them in Reading Academy. Draw or paint, you can sing and dance, you can take a picture in Reading Academy. Join in Reading Academy.
Yes, coming to drug addiction, this place is known for, the menace of drugs being so rampant.
Yes.
So have you created, apart from the football games and sports, other sports, have you created any sort of awareness program based on, drug addiction and, the ill effects of?
Prior to this, we have done 3 medical health camps, but the latest health camp was based only on drugs addiction. So we are very thankful to the Kripa Foundation. We are also very thankful to the Meghalaya AIDS Control Society and the doctors from Bethany Hospital. In that Sam County Medical Checkup Camp, we were very blessed with the participation of 10 doctors from Bethany Hospital. Then 2 psychiatrists came and 2 counselors to address the hardships of the drug addicts. And in that Sam County Medical Camp, nearly 400 people came for that camp.
What is the response of
The response was very good. The response was very good because prior to that we did good publicity, and we also gave the confidence to the drug addicts that don't feel shy, please come forward, because we're doing here in the premises of Sam County parking lot. Nobody will see you. There will be only the interaction between yourself and the counselors and the doctors. So it's very different. It's very different than the other medical health camp, because if such a health camp has been organized in community halls, then all these drug addicts, they won't have the guts, they won't have the courage to come, because
everyone will be there.
Everyone will be there, then that stigmatization will arise.
Right.
So in order to give them the absolute privacy, we've given them a very good confidence boosters. We've given a press release also that do come to this Sam County medical camp, because it's meant only for people who really needs to address this drugs addiction. And in this program of ours, we have the detoxification program and as well as the de-addiction program. And fortunately, 167 drug addicts came.
That's a good
number.
number.
167 of them came, and the most encouraging side was that they came with their parents.
Okay.
All the parents who don't know where to go, because they've seen it's a problem which needs to be solved. Actually, it's a modern problem of this generation. This generation, most of the parents will face this problem. But
It's
the thing
like
is
a
that,
fashion, a
yeah,
trend, no?
but the thing is that the parents themselves don't know where to go. So that Samhamti Medical Health Camp was really a lifeline for them.
Yeah.
So of the 167 drugs addicts that came, so 4 of them we've enrolled them in the de-addiction center for juveniles of the Skripa Foundation. We're very thankful to Sharat Balam. He's heart and soul into this, and the rest because the parents, they give the confidence that they can still take care of the kids at home. So we just give them the medication for the detoxification. And we are going to organize the same program somewhere in the month of October, November, because yes, we are getting very good feedback, and most of the parents, especially those parents who couldn't come, who are having the same hardships, but who couldn't come on that very day, but they got information from the other parents, and it was very helpful. So based on their request, we are going to organize one more of the same caliber.
That's
in the month of in the month of October and November, and we humbly request again, Sharat Balam, please be part of this again. The Meghalaya AIDS Control Society, the Kripa Foundation, and most importantly, the doctors from Bethany. Who has really given a very good hand in this medical health camp.
But Sam, coming to politics, how confident are you to contest, against old timers like Ba El Hek and Ba Pinchngan and Sim? How confident are you?
Yes, coming to Pathor Mukha constituency, yes, we know that's a very tough fight here because I'm up against 2 most experienced politicians in Ba El Hek and Ba PNCM. If you go by the counting, there's only 40 years of Meghalaya politics between the 2 of them. 25 long years of Ba El Hek and 15 long years of Ba PNCM. And from my books, I feel both of them, they are leaders in their own rights. They are also good leaders. But the thing is that the generation gap that we are living in now, I think Pathor Mukha needs a younger MLA. They need a future leader.
More dynamic.
A more dynamic one. So I think that's the only place where I have to capture the imagination of the youth. And like I said, I have huge respect for both of them, both Ba Hek and Ba PNCM. But the thing is that the generation gap, I think for this generation, it's not really Pathor Mukha constituency. I think many constituencies, they need a younger leader.
Yeah, because you are associated with the youth and you yourself are still young, so you get to know of the problems, the needs of the younger generation, like you said. So the people would like to know. They've been asking here and there. Have you associated yourself with any political party?
See, everything will be revealed in the month of August. But prior to this, we've done lots of homework. My team and I, we've done lots of homework. We've really dug deep in this Pathor Mukha constituency because we understand that Pathor Mukha constituency, most of the voters falls under the middle class group and the BPL group. And we've sat with so many women folks, and what we can understand from them is that most of the families in Pathor Mukha constituency, they are complaining about the rise in the price of essential commodities, which has really taken a great toll on their income. Because for people who earns in the daytime and feeds in the night time, for the daily wage laborers, they find it very difficult to cope with this essential commodities price rise. So, see, like I said, sports is not my actual issue. Sports is my passion for the game.
It's your
sports
hobby,
is
right?
my hobby. But when we are to come into the real political game, we have to understand what the people of constituency needs, and you also have to understand the demography of the constituency. Because Pathor Mukha constituency is a mixed population constituency, and we have to contest on a party which will really propagate secularism in its true form. So, keeping all this into account, everything will be revealed in the month of August. Because see, I'm very frank with you. I've seen I won't name the political parties, but I've seen 2-3 political parties who has come into the election. They always stated that they will get the absolute majority and form the government. I've never heard a thing from them about addressing the price rise, about the hardships faced by the people.
The ground reality.
About the ground reality. The only concern is to form the government. What will you do if you form the government? What will you do if you become a minister when you cannot address the hardships to people right from the roots? So my approach to politics is different. I want to win this election not for myself. I want to win this election not for myself to become a minister. I want to win this election in order to address the grievances of the people. I just need the authority as an MLA. That is enough for me to address the hardships.
Just the platform. you
Just a
need, right?
platform, yes.
So have you garnered support from the people of the constituency? What?
That is for you guys to find out. No, from our side, we've tried a level best.
Right.
We've tried to associate with the women folks. We've tried to associate with the drivers. Just recently, I sat with the women folks who earns their livelihood from washing clothes. They have stressed that the biggest problem that the soaps, the price of the soap now is soaring. They told me that earlier they used to get it at only 80 rupees per kg. Now it has reached 250 rupees per kg. Whereas the cost means whereas what they were being paid the same. So all these issues, it may seem small, but these are small things which makes a big difference in the long run.
True. So Basam, the last question: if you have to win the election, right?
Yes.
Do you think you'd be able to fulfill your promises to the constituents of this area?
See, whenever I go for my election campaign, whenever we go for the house meeting, we used to tell the people that election actually it's a contractual basis system where the government of India give a people a chance. See, nothing is permanent in politics because an MLA has been chosen only for a term of 5 years, which means once in 5 years you get a chance to replace your MLA.
Right.
So now what I urge from the people of Patong constituency, I humbly urge from them is that see, as candidates we are only job applicants. The real people who will give us the job, who will appoint us are the constituents of Patong constituency. So for them to choose an MLA, they have to stress on 4 things. Firstly, they have to base upon the education qualification of the candidate because see, nowadays it's a fact, qualification matters. And secondly, they have to look at the age, whether this candidate can serve for another 4 terms or not if you give him a chance. Finally, I do hope that people will see a candidate who is already stable in his business. Otherwise, if a candidate doesn't have a business from his own, will tend to do business with politics. So as far as myself is concerned, if I'm not thinking for the people, if I would have thought it for myself, I would have been content with these 2 businesses. The only reason for me stepping into politics is because of the experience we've had from the lockdown. And like I said, we've unearthed our hidden talents to serve the people. So we just want to take that level, that stage to the higher level. If I have to choose elected representative from my constituency, I have to look at his credentials, whether or not if we elect him into power, whether or not he will serve the people of the constituency and the state in a very good way. That's all I can say, madam.
Yeah, so viewers, we've heard what we need to know about SAMBORLANG DIENGDOH, where he has stressed on 4 things that, to become a political leader, you need 4 things. That is qualification, which is very important, credentials, good credentials. Then you need to know the age of the person so that, he'll be able or she'll be able to serve for more terms, right? To be able to serve the people of the constituency. And yes, getting to know the constituents also, it's a very important thing, as Basam had said. So he has already, toured, so to say, the entire constituency, where you have a mix of people, a mixed class of people, and also, people with various religions, religious beliefs. So what Basam is trying to tell us is that he is trying to bridge the gap between all kinds of people in his constituency. So Basam, thank you so much for your time, and we wish you the very best in your, working towards your goal for the elections of 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so much.